The haunting echoes of Fairview High, a tale of tragedy and terror. It was just an ordinary school, or so we thought. But they say the past has a way of seeping into the present, of leaving its mark on the very ground we walk on. Our school, Fairview High, was built over a massacre site, a tragic event that stained the earth with the blood of the innocent. We laughed at the rumors at first, dismissing them as the ramblings of overactive imaginations. But then the strange things started happening. It was the whispers that seemed to echo through the empty hallways, the cold spots that sent chills down our spines, and the flickering lights that danced to an otherworldly rhythm. Some of us claimed they saw figures in the corners of their eyes, fleeting glimpses of the past that refused to be forgotten. The air itself seemed to carry a weight, a sense of unease that settled over us like a dark cloud. We tried to ignore it, to pretend that everything was normal, but the shadows in the corners and the eerie silence of the halls at night reminded us that the past was never truly buried. There were those nights when the building itself seemed to groan with the weight of history, when the very walls seemed to reverberate with the echoes of a long-ago tragedy. We heard the cries, distant and haunting, as if the victims were still pleading for justice, still seeking solace in a world that had long since moved on. It was on one such night that things took a turn for the worse. A group of us had stayed back late to work on a project, and as we were gathering our things to leave, the atmosphere shifted. The air grew thick with an oppressive silence, broken only by the sound of our racing hearts. And then we heard it, a sound that sent terror coursing through our veins, the sound of footsteps, slow and deliberate, coming from an empty corridor. We froze, our breaths shallow and frantic as the footsteps drew closer, their rhythm steady and ominous. The temperature plummeted, and a sense of dread hung heavy in the air. The very ground beneath us seemed to vibrate with an energy that was not our own, as if the spirits of the past had finally decided to make their presence known. And then, just as suddenly as it had begun, it stopped. The footsteps faded into nothingness, leaving behind a silence that was almost deafening. We stumbled out of the school that night, our minds reeling with the horrors we had just witnessed. From that day on, we never stayed late at Fairview High again. For the memories of the past were too vivid, too real, and the knowledge that our school was built over a massacre site was a truth that we could never truly escape.